All right, everyone, I am so excited and so honored to be here with these two beautiful women right now. We all just got back from an incredible trip, and we were there in Celina's corner cheering her on. And what's really exciting is you get to see and celebrate people's wins and what's important to them and what they're chasing, and you have that incredible big moment that we're going to talk about. But what I'm really excited to talk about today is the moments that most people don't get to see. The moments where we're in the trenches, where things might not have happened for us because we were walking through some maybe self-doubt, we were walking through some unknowns, we were, trying to jump over stumbling blocks, and we just trusted the process. And we're going to talk today about how one yes changed everything for Miss Celina Frank. And you're going to hear from a woman who did not just win one of the most inspiring health transformations of 2025. And I say one of the most, it was one of four, my friends, nationwide, including Canada. And she proved that even in her 40s, dealing with some migraines, dealing with some hormone shifts, and looking at every reason why this is just how life is. There was something, and I should say someone,
Mhm.
that kind of pulled her up and out of her own way. And I'm just so excited to just be here today and talk about all of the things. So Mo, why don't you introduce this beautiful lady right here?
Thanks, Jamie. Celina
Ah,
Frank. I'm so excited to be on with both of you. You both are incredible women that inspire me literally daily. So thank you for joining me on this call, and I cannot wait. Celina, before we take everybody through your story, I would love if you could just introduce yourself. Honestly, for the woman that's listening right now that doesn't know who you are, maybe start with family. I know Jamie said you mentioned already, Jamie, that she's in her 40s. So kind of take us through family. I know that's important to you, and maybe a little bit about what you do.
yeah, sure. My name is Celina Frank. I have three children. I'm married. I have been married for, gosh, it'll be 24 years in August. Um, my three children are 23, 15, and 13. And I am a full-time interior designer. My husband and I actually own a design build firm, so I wear a lot of hats for our company. Not only am I the principal designer, but I also run the back end of the business. So finances, HR, legal, you name it, I do it. Super full plate.
Very busy. So
Yeah.
everything going on. You have three kids, a husband, those all demand your time. The business and that you're clearly doing a lot in. What do you do for fun?
I think you already know. I go to dance class. We own a lake home, which I'm in right now. It's my vacation home. It's really peeled back from what we have at home, which I love. So we do a lot of water sports. We surf, we wakeboard, we do the wave runner, we do all the things.
Love it. So you're very active.
Hmm.
Incredible. Jamie, I'm super excited. I know you already have some questions brewing over there. Before I
Yeah.
pass it over to you, though, for the very first question, I have one more question for you, Selena. If you could just, before anybody even hears your story, give like a little one-liner, a little like message to some woman that's listening in that's like, should I even continue on? Should I listen to this? Why should she listen? Like, what's the message you want her to know?
Um, I'll start by saying that I was a huge skeptic of taking anything, and Neo Life and NeoFit literally have changed my life. And I don't think there's literally nothing else that other than my hard work and these supplements combined. It literally all came from within. And I would tell any woman, any mom listening, that you need to take a chance on yourself. It is so important for you to maybe listen to my story, and that's great. And maybe you will be able to relate to some of what I'm about to say. Um, but take a chance on yourself.
I love that.
That's so good. Ooh, like I got all the feels over here now. It's so important, and I love that you said that you were a skeptic, because I feel like, we're all in our 40s on this call, and I feel like we have walked through some things in our life, and we've tried things, and we work hard to just stay stuck, frustrated in not reaching the results that we feel our hard work deserves. So we get to a point to where we start lessening our goals, and we start just saying, you know what, this is just how life is. And I'm just going to start normalizing not feeling great every day. And then there's going to be those line in the sand moments where you're like, no, I should feel a lot better than I do right now. So, where I would love to start this whole thing is, let's bring it on back. Celina, let's bring it back before you said yes, before you had one thing exciting happening in your journey here with us. Take us back to before anything changed for you. Like, what was life like? What did it feel like? Like, where were you at in your mindset, your health? Like, where were you at?
So in a nutshell, I'm going to take it back a year, but I promise this won't be long. A year ago today, I was 156 pounds. That is close to the most I've ever weighed. The most I've ever weighed was 160 in my very first pregnancy. I will admit, my very first pregnancy probably wasn't my healthiest. I just ate. Didn't exercise. I was really young at the time. And so, I didn't know much. But anyway, so I was overweight. We were here at the lake house. I was walking the dog with my husband, and we were going up, I'm telling you, the tiniest of hills, and I was out of breath. And I knew at that point, I said to my husband, like, I think something's wrong with me. Something is wrong with me. I'm like overweight. I'm bloated. I still eat healthfully. I'm still pretty active. Now I'm out of breath. My skin is itchy. I have terrible brain fog. I'm bloated all the time. I mean, if you could imagine any reel or info you've ever seen about perimenopause and its symptoms, I literally checked the list, every single one. Extremely fatigued, no energy, all of the things. And so, I started taking a Pilates class, and that was like, okay, I'm going to start doing something to get me out of the house, meeting people, and hopefully getting into shape. Like, I need to do something different here. So I started taking Pilates, and I was losing a little bit of weight, but not really. I mean, by September, I had maybe dropped 5 pounds, if that. So I went to the doctor. Of course, I had to wait for my doctor's appointment. That was also in September. And she pulled blood work, but she came back and told me, you're fine. Everything's normal. You're just in perimenopause. That's the good news. It's just perimenopause. You don't have any diseases. The bad news is this can last 8 to 10 years. I'm already dealing with long COVID symptoms that made my migraine disease, which I've had since I was young, it made it chronic. And they diagnosed me with refractory chronic migraine, which means I was not responding well to medication. So now I'm got the long COVID symptoms, the perimenopause symptoms, and the chronic migraine symptoms. And they're pulling me on and off meds to try and deal with the migraine. And I just kept getting bigger, and my face got like puffy and bloated from the last med I was on. And I finally said, this is it. Like, enough is enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celina, so many women will chalk that up to just normal. Every woman feels this way. Perimenopause, the doctor comes back and says this. So many women are now walking around this way and just trying to kind of comfort, I would imagine, ourselves, and saying, well, this is just what it is. This is just how I'm going to feel. And then the belief within them starts to kind of dwindle away and shrink back, that really they can change and ever feel good again. Did you ever battle that voice, that was trying to hold you back inside?
Oh, 100%. I mean, self-doubt was my middle name. I was like, oh, this is the meds. Like, this is, my doctor says this is normal. And honestly, my mom didn't really go through this. She had a total hysterectomy at 40. So she never even spoke about perimenopause. We didn't talk about hormones. We didn't talk about any of the things. And when I started experiencing all these things, she's like, geez, you should really go to the doctor. Perimenopause wasn't even on her radar either. So, yeah, I mean, and I'm not early 40s, I'm late 40s. Like, when I started on Neo Life, products, I was 46 years old. I'm currently 47. I just turned in June. And like, at that point, I'm like, what could possibly help me? You know, like I'm already eating healthy. I already eat all the protein I'm supposed to. I already eat all the vegetables I'm supposed to. Could I cut back on sugar and carbs a little? Sure, probably. But, you know, I felt like I was already doing all the right things and the needle just wasn't moving. My girlfriend, Michelle, who's actually my Pilates instructor, I was complaining to her one day and she said, you know, maybe you have to add a little cardio in or something. She's like, you should come to my dance class with me. And I was like, no, absolutely not. I'm 46 years old. I'm not going to a dance class. And she's like, I'm telling you, it's an exercise dance class. It's so much fun. It's dark. There's club lights. She's like, it's so much fun. She's like, if nothing else, you'll have a blast for an hour and then you go home. And so that was, I think, probably the turning point for me. That's what I decided to try. I committed to taking this one dance class. Monique was actually the instructor, which is how we met. And I paid the $25 and the rest is kind of history.
I love that. But I do remember you telling me that there was that moment before you walked into Monique's first dance class ever, where you are sitting in your car for 15 minutes battling back and forth. Should I just go home? Should I go in? Should I just go home? You had a migraine happening at the time, which could be so much of a good reason to be like, hey, I'll catch it next week. But there was something going on to where you actually got out of the car and went in. So can you bring everyone back to that moment? Because I think that that is a very pivotal moment within your line in the sand that really just jumped into so much of what you had no idea what was waiting for you on the other side of walking in that room. So go back to that, because how many of us would just turn around and go home in those moments?
Well, I tried. I'll be honest. I tried. I woke up that morning with a migraine. I told my husband, I can't go. I can't do this. I have a terrible headache. And he's like, why don't you just take your rescue meds? Like, hey, you haven't taken any all week. You know, you've been kind of good about your medication. Take your rescue meds. So I did. I took my rescue meds. Regardless if I was going to dance, I needed to feel better to have my Sunday morning with my kids. And so my husband kind of like got me out the door. So I get in the truck, I drive to the studio. I'm sitting out front of the studio. And honestly, I now looking back, I don't know who it was. I know all the girls that go to dance now, but somebody walked in a very cute like dance outfit, you know, and I was like, oh, I'm like, were we supposed to dress like that? I'm like wearing a t-shirt and leggings, and I'm like wearing a t-shirt. Like this t-shirt is oversized, baggy. It is covering all of the things that I don't feel good about, right? And I see her walk in, and immediately I let myself like go down a rabbit hole. Like I can't do this. What am I doing? I'm not good enough for this. I'm freaking almost 50 years old. I feel terrible. I feel uncomfortable in my own skin. I'm overweight. And I had all the reasons, right? I'm like, I pulled out my phone. I'm ready to text Michelle and be like, hey, I'm not going. Like, have fun. And Michelle knocked on my window. And I literally had just put my truck in reverse. And she knocked on my window and like, you know, told me to put my window down. So I put my window down. I'm like, girl, I don't think I can do this. I have a migraine. Like, I'm not feeling great. And she's like, you're coming in. You already paid for the class. You're coming in. And I honestly, even walking in, was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? This is the stupidest thing I've ever done. And I get in there, I take off my shoes, I go into the studio portion, and Monique's like, hey girl, like she's known me forever. You must be Celina. Walks up to me, gives me a hug, and I'm like, all right, I'm a hugger. She's a hugger. Like, and literally immediately made me feel comfortable. She just made me feel comfortable. She's like, it's not about the choreo. She gave this whole like beginning of class speech, really just speaking life into people and letting everybody know that it was a no judgment zone. And I slowly, very slowly, kind of felt like that wall coming down that I had put up, and thinking to myself, like, okay, maybe this isn't going to be so bad. Like, I think maybe I can do this.
Yeah.
Celina, now I have to say I know that there is potentially someone on this call that's been there. I mean, whether it's a dance class, a gym, somebody telling you, you know, or you tell yourself, I'm going to start Monday. I'm trying not to cry.
Yeah, me too.
I just want to go there for a second, if you're willing, and like pause, because now you've like taken us back, but you also know the future, which is a very incredible place to be. Now, what if we pause, and what if you didn't? Like, what if you didn't walk in those doors that day? And what if you let doubt win that day? 'Cause I know that we've all let doubt win, but that day was different. What do you think it would look like for you if you didn't?
That's a great question. And I honestly don't know, but I can only imagine that I would still be overweight. I would still be doubting myself. I would still not be able to look at myself in the mirror without clothing on. I still would not feel comfortable in my skin. That day literally was a 180-degree moment in my life. I mean, everything shifted that day, and we'll get into that, but I think I would still be meek, back of the room, overweight, feeling, you know, just brain foggy and sweaty and gross. And I would still be that Celina. And that's a little scary to think about because I really love where I am right now and how I feel right now.
That's a really good question, Mo.
Yeah.
I think that it is important to always bring it back to what if it didn't happen? What if I made a different choice? Because we are the choices that we choose. You know, and looking at when you walked into that room, you didn't know about Neo Life. You did not know Monique yet. I do remember you telling me on your how she was just like this ball of energy running around, like just really just making everybody feel seen and heard. And you just like everything in life is a vibe. We talk about this all the time. But at what point where you're like, you know, this is going to be different. I feel like I can control what I can, and I feel like I need to ask her, like, how the heck does she have all this energy? Like, walk us through that point to like, you didn't have to overhaul everything in your life, but you felt comfortable to ask a very simple question to Monique and just kind of walk us through like how you got to learn about Neo Life and all of that.
So I think a defining moment was when we finished that first class. It was, you know, 55 or 65 minutes later. Mo was speaking to everybody, but I feel like she was speaking to me. She thanked everybody for coming. She thanked us for spending our hour with her. She kept reiterating that everybody did a great job. She had run I'm going to try and get through this without crying. She had run a 101 class, and I suspected it was because I was there and I was new, but I didn't know. Maybe she already had that planned. I'm not really sure. But a 101 class at the time was when she broke down the choreography for one song. Like we did do other songs, but then she stopped. I can't remember if we did it before or after, but either way, about half of the class was just focusing and learning on the choreography for one song. And because I walked in during a 101 class, and that's the class that I ended up taking, I feel like it was slower paced. It was easier for me to catch on. I still felt really out of my element. Like I danced a lot when I was younger. I took dance classes. I went to the clubs. And I don't know, I'm very good at feeling music, but I was just so in my head. Like I still felt like I didn't do good. And so the way Mo ended the class really spoke to me. And I wanted to go up and talk to her because in that speech that she gave, she mentioned she had 4 children. And I'm like, she has 4 kids. She looks like this. She literally just jumped all over the room like a Mexican jumping bean. Like, where did she get all that energy? But I didn't want to, I already was not feeling like secure even being there. And so I didn't want to like be the one that walked up to the instructor after class and was like, hey. So I was very quietly went out, grabbed my shoes and water bottle and just left. Monique she sent me a message after class, like, thank you so much for coming. You did a great job, and kind of just like reaffirmed everything she said in class. And so she made me feel comfortable. I didn't feel like, I don't know if you've ever been to a class, and maybe somebody listening has walked into something they were unsure about, already feeling unsure about it. And the people there didn't make you feel good. They weren't warm, they weren't welcoming. They didn't seem like they really cared that you were there. And Mo was the exact opposite of that spectrum. So after the second class, I kind of got up the cojones and walked up to her and was like, you have so much energy. Like, where do you get this? I want to feel like that. I want that kind of energy. I feel like if I had energy, I would be able to go back to working out and do all the things that I used to do. I'm a certified personal trainer. I'm a certified nutritionist, like up the wazoo, so many certifications, and I couldn't even get out of my own way. And she was like, that's when she introduced NeoLife. She's like, I mean, I'm taking these vitamins, and I drink this shake in the morning, and I'm like, vitamins in a shake? I'm like, okay. Like immediately I'm in my head, right? I'm not doing it like to her face, but I'm rolling my eyes like, whatever. I've tried all the things. I've tried Shakeology. I've tried so many different things, right? And I'm like, oh, here we go. Like, she's going to try and sell me something, but she didn't. She simply just told me about, and I said, what's it called? And she said NeoLife. And I'm like, awesome. And then that was that. I left the class and we didn't talk about it again. Until maybe it was like a month later, I think. I'm like, I'm really feeling terrible. Maybe I should try this. And she kept like posting on her social media about her and these other girls doing these early morning workouts and meal prepping and taking their vitamins. And like the one girl that I started getting close with in class as well, Devin, who's also one of Mo's best friends, she's like losing weight, and I can like physically see her getting smaller. And then I started having FOMO. I'm like, okay, I think I want to be involved in this. Like,
Yeah.
they're all working out in the morning, and then like we all see each other at dance, and like, Mo and Carly and Devin and whoever else was working out are all like talking about their workouts. And I'm like, I want to be part of this. And so, yeah, Mo sent me a cart after I asked her, of course, with the core 3 in it. So that's NeoLife shakes, the Elevate, and the Pro Vitality, which is the vitamin packets. And I started taking those, and I'm not even kidding you, within a week, I had lost 1.4 pounds. So just under 1.5 pounds, literally changed nothing else. That's not true. Let me back that up. I started drinking the shake in the morning. I was a chronic, like, no breakfast eater. I would get up, I would guzzle coffee, and I wouldn't really eat breakfast until, later in the day. And so I started drinking the shake in the morning. That was the big change that I made, and taking the Pro Vitality.
Yeah, that's so good. I mean, being around a community.
Yeah.
I love that you said FOMO. I mean,
Yeah.
Mo, you probably create that a lot because of your amazing little self. I love her so much.
Yeah.
But it is important to be surrounded by good women, and knowing that, you started looking into, okay, well, what are they taking? And then you look into that, and then within your first week, you're starting to notice some small changes, which is sometimes it's the small hinges in our life that make the biggest impact, right? So I know Mo has another question for you, but I love that you shared that.
Yeah, so when you started, I remember that you were not chasing skinny. My girl wanted to be strong and have her energy and have her peace within. And that was really what you had shared with me in the beginning. Like, I just want to feel like myself. I want to feel good again. You're in your 40s. What would you say surprised you along this journey?
The biggest surprise was probably, I don't remember exactly. I want to say it was maybe 45 days. And I was sitting on the couch, and I suddenly smelled something, and I turned around and said to my husband, we have like an open floor plan. And I said to him, he was standing behind the sink. I said, are you peeling an orange? And he's like, you can smell that? And I'm like, babe, I can smell that. And this was such a huge moment. I started crying because I hadn't smelled an orange in 5 years. I already told you I was dealing with long COVID, and the smell and taste really was a big issue for me. Lack of energy, the chronic migraine, and I was having like a little bit of like tachycardia, these weird like heart palpitations. I don't know. And so, um, yeah, I started to be able to smell the orange. And the only thing I had added in at that point was the Pro Vitality and the Elevate and the shakes. And so I'm like, no freaking way is this happening right now. Like, I immediately text Mo. I text Jamie. I think I text both of you actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, your guys are never going to believe this. I can
Like, our girl can smell.
So I am by no means saying, let me just make this very clear. I am by no means saying that Neolife will cure anything, okay? Or bring back your smell or taste or anything of that. I'm just saying this is my experience. So that was the most surprising, to answer your question. The other, I mean, I was immediately surprised a week in when I started losing weight, and it was slowly just kind of coming off. Yes, I was working out. I started having more energy, and therefore all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm gonna work out 3 days this week, and I'm going to dance twice. And next thing you know, I'm working out 5 days a week. And I'm like, oh my God, I really do have all this energy. Monique was not lying. Like, it had to have come from the Pro Vitality. It's the only thing that I've changed that I feel would make that significant of a difference.
Yeah, I love that. Did you have a follow? You look like you were going to say something, Mo. No, no. So with that being said, looking at, when I'm a big believer in when you give your body what it genuinely nutritionally needs, your body's going to do what it needs to do, right? And I love that what we are a part of is whole food. It's what's missing from our grocery stores nowadays. Like, it's crazy, right? And it's beyond organic, and it's clinically proven to improve our health, and it's proven through human studies. And there are so many incredible testimonials around the entire world. And I think sharing your truth is very important because, getting in what we're missing through whole food supplementation is important. But how you eat is important. And I know that, paying attention to your macros was a big thing for you. And it wasn't overcomplicating anything. Working out more and you mentioning having more energy and being able to do more things. I mean, those go hand in hand together. And it is an incredible thing that when we start filling in the gaps, like, we're able to show up better in our life. And then it's just like everything else starts to just work for us because we're not playing tug of war with inside our body anymore.
Yeah.
So with that, I do want to mention, like, not only are you the 2025, like, one of the most like inspiring transformations this year, you jumped in our 90-day challenge first and totally took the crown for that, which was also one of four in that particular quarter. But what I really loved is when you started, like, catching that belief within your own journey because of the things that you were doing. Your son was like, we're going to win this, Mom, and I'm going to help you. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, it was like a family, like, you had a really good support system around you. So that was really great. So I'd love for you to touch on that. But going from the 90, like, and then going after, I'm just going to continue on. Like, you took that 1 year, the win as well. So you're looking at, I mean, we want to talk about all of the experience, from the 90 to taking our trip to Texas and all of that. Like, let everyone know all the moments and all the excitement and everything that you got because you put your yes first and you're the one that decided what your health goals were. Neolife didn't put a limitation or a stipulation on it. You decided. And if you could just, like, walk us through that, I think that would be really great.
Absolutely. So I started the Neolife products in the very beginning of December 2024. I think I had my first box within the first week. And I knew the girls were all working out. I was not working out with them. I had terrible FOMO, but I'm like, oh my gosh, they're literally getting up at 5:30 and working out at 6. And I have to wake my daughter up at 6:15. I can't do that. I'm making all these excuses. And Devin said to me, why can't your daughter set an alarm and get herself up? I'm like, she'll never wake up, right? She'll never wake up, I said. So fast forward a few weeks. Mo kept saying, just join the challenge. It's free. Just join the challenge. And I'm like, finally I broke down. I'm like, fine. So I filled out all the stuff, but I didn't send in my photos or anything. And then word came that Devin won NeoFit 90 for the last quarter of 2024. And, and you guys are interviewing her, and I'm listening to her interview, and I'm like so inspired by her and how far she had come. And of course, the prize package is a great bonus, right? You get $500 cash, $500 in swag. They send you all kinds of stuff. It's really actually a fun box to get. It's like Christmas. So at that point I was motivated. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop making excuses. I'm going to do this. And Mo hooked me up with a call with you, Jamie, and you got my macros set for me. Which I'm not even going to say it was really humbling. I already know what I'm doing in the nutrition department, but I feel like coaches need coaches too. Like I need somebody else. I can hold whoever accountable, right? It's much harder to hold yourself accountable. And so I was eating super healthy. I've mentioned that a few times, but I was eating clearly too much, because I wouldn't be gaining weight otherwise. So I took what you sent me, the 2 worksheets that you sent me, I plugged them into my Fitness Pal, and I really started paying attention to everything that was going in my mouth. I already had the energy there to start doing the workouts, and I finally dropped my excuses and decided to work out with the girls in the morning so I could stop having FOMO. And finally, I think it was like January 7th, I finally was like, okay, I'm going to take the pictures and I'm going to submit them. I'm going to do this. And my son's like, you definitely should. He's like, I'm going to help you because I'm trying to lean out before my baseball season starts. So we're going to do this together. We're going to meal prep. We're going to work out. And I'm like, okay. And so between him and Devin and Monique, all like, we're here, we're helping you. We're going to lift you up, and I told my husband, I think I'm going to start doing this again. I'm going to start meal prepping. I'm probably not going to be eating the same meals as you again. And he's like, yeah, I think you should do it. You don't feel good about yourself right now and you should. And so I did it. I took the bull by the horns. I took the photos. I sent them in. I literally took the photos like 15 times. I'm not even joking. I still have them in my camera roll. You should see my camera roll. I'm like, I can't send these in. These look terrible. And Monique and Devin were like, yeah, that's kind of the point. Like send them in. Like, this is just you. It's your body. You don't look terrible. And, when you are feeding yourself doubt consistently, it's just like feeding your body or feeding your plants or feeding your weeds, as I like to call it. They will grow, and so will your self-doubt. And so I kind of had to do this like mental shift. I need to start focusing on the positive. I need to start focusing on what I can do and what is feeling good instead of focusing on what I can't do and what doesn't feel good and how I look. And so I started working out in the morning, and the programs that we were doing are designed to be 30 minutes or less. I think the longest one was maybe 31 minutes. And so that was super helpful because it fit right into my day. My workout was done by 6:30. I'm getting my daughter ready for school. I'm off, and then I'm on to work. And so that was very, very helpful. I think there came a point in time where I said like, hey, look, I need to back off the morning workouts because I feel like I'm really not getting enough sleep right now because I'm a terrible night owl. Once the kids go to bed, I feel like that's my me time. I'm sure a lot of moms can relate. Like, you're supposed to be in bed, right? You should be sleeping, but